for the past week. Someone has been knocking on my front door every night, always at the same time. 2:47 a.m. 3 knocks. Slow. Heavy. The first few nights, I thought it was just someone messing with me. Maybe a drunk person knocking on the wrong house. But then one night, I looked through the peephole and saw someone standing there, perfectly still, facing the door. The strange part was, they weren't knocking. Their hands never moved, which means those knocks weren't coming from outside. I moved into this house about 2 months ago. It's small, quiet, the kind of place where nothing really happens, which is exactly why I chose it. After living in a noisy apartment building for years, I wanted somewhere peaceful. No loud neighbors, no traffic outside the window, just silence at night for the first couple of weeks. That's exactly what I got, until the knocking started. The first time it happened, I thought it was a dream. I woke up suddenly in the middle of the night. No reason, no noise that I could remember, just awake. I grabbed my phone from a nightstand. 2:47 a.m. For a second, I just stared at the screen, trying to figure out why I was awake. Then I heard it. 3 knocks, slow, heavy, coming from the front door. I sat there for a moment, waiting for another sound. Nothing, just silence. I figured someone had knocked on the wrong house. Maybe a drunk person, maybe someone looking for a neighbor. So I got out of bed and walked to the door. When I opened it, no one was there. The street was empty. No footsteps, no cars, nothing. After standing there for a few seconds, I closed the door and went back to bed. It felt strange, but not scary. Not yet. The second night, it happened again. I woke up suddenly, grabbed my phone. 2:47 a.m. And right on cue, 3 knocks, slow, evenly spaced, exactly like the night before. This time I went straight to the door, opened it quickly. Nothing, just the quiet street, the porch light shining on an empty driveway. I stood there longer that time, looking around the yard, but whoever had knocked was already gone. By the third night, I started to feel uneasy. I woke up again, 2:47 a.m. Then the knocks came, 3 slow knocks, just like before. This time I didn't open the door right away. Instead, I walked quietly toward it, trying not to make any noise. There's a peephole in the center of the door, so I leaned forward and looked through it. The porch light was on, and someone was standing there, a tall figure, standing directly in front of the door, facing it, perfectly still. For a moment I felt relieved. At least it was a real person, not my imagination. But then something didn't make sense. The person wasn't knocking. Their arms were hanging at their sides, not raised, not moving, just hanging there. I waited, watching through the peephole, expecting them to knock again. But they didn't. They just stood there, completely still. After about 10 seconds, I decided to open the door. I unlocked it, turned the handle, and pulled it open. The porch was empty. No one there. No one walking down the street. No footsteps fading away. Nothing. Just the same quiet night. I stepped outside, looked down the sidewalk, checked the yard. No one. It was like the person had vanished. I went back inside slowly, closed the door, and locked it. At that point, I was officially creeped out, but I still tried to convince myself there had to be a normal explanation. Maybe someone was knocking and running away, kids playing a prank. Even though it was the middle of the night, that explanation was the only thing that made sense, at least at the time. The next night, I decided to stay awake. I wanted to catch whoever was doing it. So around 2 in the morning, I turned off the lights in the house, sat on the couch, and waited. 2:30, nothing. 2:40, still nothing. Then finally, 2:47 a.m., and right on time. 3 knocks, slow, heavy, exactly the same as every other night. This time I was already standing by the door. I leaned forward and looked through the peephole immediately. The same figure was there, standing in the exact same place, perfectly still, facing the door. But something felt different this time. Something about the way they were standing. It took me a few seconds to realize what it was. They were closer, much closer, close enough that if I opened the door suddenly, they would be standing right in front of me. I stayed frozen there, watching, trying to decide what to do. The person still hadn't knocked again. Their arms were still hanging at their sides. And that's when I noticed something else. Something that made my stomach drop. The knocking. The 3 slow knocks I had just heard. They couldn't have come from that person, because the entire time, their hands had never moved. For a few seconds, I just stood there, still looking through the peephole, trying to convince myself I had missed something, trying to believe maybe the person outside had knocked quickly and I hadn't noticed. But that wasn't possible. I had been watching the entire time, and their hands had never moved. The knocking had happened. I heard it clearly, 3 slow knocks, but the person outside the door hadn't done it. My hand slowly moved toward the door handle. Part of me wanted to just walk away, lock the door, go back to bed, pretend none of this was happening. But curiosity won, or maybe stupidity. I unlocked the door, turned the handle, and pulled it open. The porch was empty. Again, no one there. No one walking down the street. No footsteps fading away. Nothing. Just the quiet glow of the porch light and the empty driveway. I stepped outside, looked left, looked right. The entire street was silent. No cars, no people, not even a dog barking somewhere in the distance. I walked down the porch steps, looked around the yard, checked near the fence. Nothing. It was like the person I had seen through the peephole had never existed. Eventually I went back inside, closed the door, locked it again, and leaned against it, trying to calm down, trying to convince myself there had to be some explanation. Maybe someone knocked and ran. Maybe I imagined seeing someone outside. Maybe I was more tired than I realized. Then I heard it. 3 knocks. Slow. Heavy. I froze. Because this time, the sound didn't come from outside. It came from behind me. From the door. The same door I had just walked through. The same door that was now closed, locked, and directly behind my back. My heart started pounding. I turned slowly. The door looked completely normal. No one touching it. No movement. Nothing. Then it happened again. 3 knocks from the other side. But this time something clicked in my mind. Something I hadn't fully realized before. The figure outside earlier, the one I saw through the peephole, had never knocked. Their hands never moved, which meant the knocking had never come from them. I took a step back from the door, then another. My brain was trying to catch up with what was happening, trying to understand how someone could knock on the door without being outside the house. Then something else happened. The door handle moved, very slowly, like someone on the other side was testing it. I watched it turn slightly, then stop, then turn again. But the door didn't open, because the lock was still in place. For a moment, everything went quiet again. No knocking, no movement, just silence. I stood there staring at the door, waiting for something else to happen, but nothing did. Eventually, I backed away slowly, keeping my eyes on the door the whole time. Then I turned and walked toward the hallway, just to put a little distance between me and the entrance. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the couch with every light in the house on, watching the door, waiting, but nothing else happened. The next morning, I checked the front porch. I expected to see something. Footprints, mud, anything, but the concrete was completely clean. No marks, no signs anyone had been there. The whole day I kept thinking about the same thing. If the person outside hadn't knocked, and the knocking wasn't coming from outside, then where had it come from? I tried to convince myself I was overthinking it, that the sound had just echoed through the door, that houses make strange noises at night, that there had to be a simple explanation. But that night, I woke up again, 2:47 a.m. I didn't even look at the phone at first. I already knew what time it was. I could feel it, the same strange tension in the air, the same feeling that someone was nearby. Then the knocks came, 3 slow knocks, exactly the same as before. This time, I didn't move. I didn't go to the door. I didn't look through the peephole. I just sat there in bed, listening. After a few seconds, I heard something else, a sound I hadn't heard before, a faint noise, right outside my bedroom door, a quiet scrape, like someone slowly dragging their hand across the wall. Then 3 knocks from the hallway, inside the house, right outside my bedroom.